Alrighty, folks. How are we all doing tonight? Hope you enjoyed that very awesome run of Robo Trek that we just had. Right now, what we have on deck is a game called Costume Quest. I am going to be playing on the Xbox 360 version. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, which one we do. Well, actually, it does for it does for the very beginning here, and I'll explain that. In fact, I want to go ahead and start here. Timer doesn't start yet. I will be sure to explain what's going on there. But let's just go ahead and get started here, and I'll explain some of the lore. Because we skip virtually every cutscene in this game, but this one on the Xbox 360 version, you cannot skip. So this centers around a family that has just moved into a new neighborhood, and the focus of this family are the two twin siblings of the family. Their names are Reynold and Ren. And their mother has said, okay, it's Halloween night. I want you to go out and have a good time and make some friends now that you're new in this neighborhood. And they're like, no, we don't want to make friends. We just want to, like, terrorize people and get a bunch of candy. You're also going to see here that there is quite the sibling rivalry between these two that actually manifests into some pretty funny lines here that are coming up. Sure. Also, the dad is very much me. He has my energy big time. Like, listen, Ren said, I'm the big one because I was born 10 ounces heavier. She says you're 10 ounces dumber. He says you're 10 pounds uglier. We don't know what he is 10 tons of, but because they get interrupted by Mom, who makes a very, very important decision here. She chooses which player you get to use. Actually, that's not true. I can switch back and forth. But which one she points to initially is actually random. Which character you use makes absolutely no difference in the actual speedrun or even a casual play of the game. She was pointing to Ren, her daughter, first, so we're actually going to take her, and that's how this is going to work. So when we choose the character, that one gets the actual initial costume that you're going to use, which in this case is a robot. Whoever you don't choose gets dressed up as a candy corn, and that's significant for reasons that I'll explain in a minute. So after I choose Ren, a few seconds after this cutscene will fade to black. As soon as it fades to black, that's when the timer starts. Okay? So we're going to choose Ren. Ren is in charge. And, no talking, slave. And time starts now. Alright, so we're going to walk up to this first house. Trick or treat. Yeah, okay, cool. And then Reynold complains about being in the stupid costume. Alright, now, we've actually skipped a lot of really important stuff here, and we've gone right into the battle tutorial. So I'll explain this because this is what we're doing right now, but I'll be sure to talk about what we missed there in a second. So the way that battle works, at least with the robot costume, is that you want to get critical hits by pressing the right button when the slider is in that slot right above where the button indicator is. But we skip that here for the tutorial because we don't need crits in order to finish it. Because after every third turn, you get your super attack, which for the robot are these rockets that you shoot out that do a whole bunch of damage, fire damage, everything like that, and that's cool. Alright, so what has happened is we have encountered an evil sorceress named Dorsilla. She is hell-bent on stealing all of the candy in this neighborhood for her nefarious purposes. And because Reynold was dressed up like a candy corn, one of her minions, which are called Grubbins, said, oh wow, this is the best one of all. I'm certainly going to get a promotion for nabbing this. And so they steal Reynold, and now our quest is to get... Ren's quest right now is to get her brother back. What we've done is we've assembled all of the pieces for the robot costume. And the robot costume is awesome because it has rocket skates and it allows us to go fast. But with great power comes great responsibility, because this can be very difficult to control. Oh, okay. I almost stumbled on the ramp there. That would have been bad. We got to come over here and we got to talk to this kid in the red hat. He's the neighborhood bully. His name is Travis. He's chasing us on his skateboard, and if he catches us, this cutscene ends and we go back. But fortunately, we have rocket skates, and we can just move really fast through this section here. We go over this ramp. Whee! It's this big dramatic thing. We're going to switch to the robot costume. Ooh, neat. We're going to switch back to the robot costume, and we're going to move on. Okay, so here's what you missed as far as the cutscene goes. Dorsilla came in and was trying to steal all of the candy, and in the process, stealed our brother. What she has done is she has sent her minions, which are these grubbins that I'm fighting here that you're going to see throughout the game. to steal all the candy in the neighborhood. So what we need to do is we need to go to trick-or-treating in every house in this neighborhood to try to collect back as much candy as possible, and also to trick-or-treat, because we're kids, and that's what we want to do. So when we're going to trick-or-treat, and you have to trick-or-treat at every single house, no matter what, in order to progress to the next section of the game. At the houses, it's either going to be a monster that will answer the door and you go into a battle, or it's a person that will answer the door and they will give you candy. Candy is actually important because it's your currency in the game. It's like your GP or your gil, if you will. So here we go. We just get candy, and we can just move on out of this. Oh my god. This is one of the more difficult parts of the speedrun, is controlling the rocket skates. The way that there's so many different things and objects and obstacles and whatnot, like this porch here. Going up to these porches is damn near impossible. I just get caught on stuff all the time. So navigating that is honestly really tricky. So we're gonna come here. We're gonna do another battle here. Okay, so you see I'm battling what's called a shaman. These are essentially white mages or healers. Anytime we encounter any of these white mages, we want to kill them as quickly as possible, because they use an ability that can shield a character, which completely absorbs a hit, and that is really, really not good, because that can slow things down. It can draw out battles, and we do not want that. Shoot, and I didn't, unfortunately. I got bad damage rolls there, so I didn't kill him on this cycle. Which is unfortunate. But fortunately, we do have our supercharged up, which does damage to all enemies, and then at the end of our round, it's going to do some fire damage to all the enemies as well, which unfortunately didn't finish off the fight. Now, Ren died there, but you know what? That's okay, because at the end of every battle, you get all of your HP and all your characters revived. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, we're going to come over here and talk to this kid dressed as Abraham Lincoln, and talk to this other one that's dressed as some kind of superhero. What they're telling us is that if you want to get into their party, it's a patriotic party, so you have to have some sort of costume or anything like that is overtly American. So that's our next quest, is to collect an American costume, and we will be doing that shortly. So, one thing to discuss here is the way that I'm doing defense. The buttons that pop up that I need to press in order to defend attacks is random, so I need to pay close attention to what's coming up, because you have a very limited time to press the right button. You might already be sensing, just from how this game works, that the battle and everything like that is rather simplistic. But that doesn't mean the speedrun is easy. This game actually requires, if you want to run it well, it requires a lot of concentration. There's very little downtime where you can kind of, take your eyes off the screen, hands off the controller, things like that. So it's simple, but it's not easy, I think is the best way of putting it. Alright, so the robot's special ability outside of battle is to do rocket skates. Now, the knight costume, which we can switch to at will, is the shield. This will shield ourselves overhead, so that anything that's like falling on us or dropping or whatnot, we can avoid it without it hampering us. Okay, over the ramp. So here we go. So what I'm doing now is I am collecting costume pieces for a costume which is the Statue of Liberty, which of course is very, very patriotic, so surely will get us into the party. Now, the way that assembling costumes works is like this. Every costume has 3 pieces that you need to collect, but in addition to the 3 pieces, you also need what's called a pattern, which is essentially telling you how to assemble the costume so that it is all one contiguous, usable costume. So we have all the pieces now. Now, when we go back and talk to the kid that was originally dressed as Abraham Lincoln, he will give us the pattern. Oh, I actually don't need a crit here. So there are going to be some times where I'll strategically fail crits just to save a little time. When I know that I don't need to do full. I didn't do my super. That was dumb. I was too busy yakking away about all this stuff. I might as well just fail this, because I know it's not going to kill anyway. So. Okay. That guy's dead. Alright. Now let's see if he says it here. He does. Okay, so you see Everett yakking about something here, and you see in big caps it says battle stamps. We're going to get to battle stamps shortly. What battle stamps do is they provide different power-ups that you can apply onto your characters, kind of like, you know, accessories in most other video games that would give some sort of special ability or whatnot. So we're going to be getting some of those battle stamps soon, but in order to get all the battle stamps we need the money to afford it. So that's why we're doing some of these houses before we go into the park to get them. Oops. Switch targets here because the robot costume does more damage than the knight. Each of the costumes, in addition to having those abilities both inside and out of battle, also have some passive boosts that there's either buffs or even debuffs to your stats, where they will, you know, raise either your HP, your attack power, whatever it would be. So the robot gives you an attack power buff, which is nice. All right, so we have everything we need to do here for the costume. So we're going to talk to this guy, and he is going to give us the pattern, and boom, Statue of Liberty. We're going to... oops, no, shoot, I didn't mean to switch to this yet. I still didn't mean to switch to that. That was dumb. Okay. Okay, now I switched to this. Okay. Oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry. I switched to this now because there are squirrels in these trees that throw rocks at you, and they will repel you back, as you saw there. But we needed to grab that... Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. Get out of here. We needed to grab that cherry in order to come up here and talk to... Oh, shoot. Everett is not... I don't want him to be the Statue of Liberty. We need to talk to Mrs. Putterpan. She needed a very unique ingredient for a pie, and we just happen to have this cherry to give her. And once we give her that, then she lets us go through. All right, get some candy here. Doing some more trick-or-treating. After... This is going to be a battle. By the way, in the... behind each of the doors, it is always fixed. Not only whether it will be an encounter or candy, but even for the encounters, they're always fixed formations. So I know exactly what encounters I'm going to get. Yo, I see some members of the Costume Quest speedrunning community here in chat. Shoutouts to them. Oh, well, I can't believe I didn't mention this in the beginning, speaking of Costume Quest in the community and whatnot. This is really cool because this is the very first time that this game, that we know of, that this game has ever been featured in a speedrunning marathon. So, y'all are witnessing history, folks. Now, for those of you that might be wondering, when I said before, you know, there are some times that we intentionally fail crits in order to save time. Some of you might be wondering, would you intentionally fail blocking attacks in order to save time? And the answer to that is no, because the animation for not blocking attacks is actually longer than it takes to block them. So, because we deal with like hundreds of these attacks throughout the game, we always want to block them whenever we can. But sometimes I press the wrong buttons because, here's the thing, y'all. I'm well into my 40s. I grew up playing the Super Nintendo, and so the X, Y, B, and A that I'm used to are in different positions than they are on the Xbox 360 controller. So, sometimes I screw things up, and I don't mean to. But there I intentionally did not get the crit, because I knew I wasn't going to need it in order to finish that off. Yo, thank you, Harsh. Speaking of the Costume Quest community. Alright, and the fire will finish off. Perfect. Alright, so he's still going on and on about these battle stamps, and we're actually going to get them shortly, but first we want to do this last trick-or-treat here, get a little more candy, and aka money, and now we can go into the park, where we're going to talk to our main girl, Sadie. Sadie is the shopkeep that sells us the battle stamps. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to grab this, and we're going to grab that, and we're going to equip that, and then we go. Okay, now, so here are the battle stamps that I got. The one that I equipped on Ren is called, I believe it's the Bloodshot Eyeball. That increases the amount of damage that you do with critical hits. So as far as single target damage, by far, Ren is the better one there. What I've equipped on Everett is a stamp called Pumpkin Guts. Now, and I will demonstrate what Pumpkin Guts does here in just a second. So I'm attacking this Warlock, right? This one here on the right. But you'll notice that I also did damage to the one on the left as well. It kind of does like chip damage to all other enemies in the formation. This is going to be really useful for killing enemies that are in like critical HP status without having to target them directly. Okay, that cutscene that I just skipped there, you saw those gates that were open and now we're walking through them. That is an indication that we have trick-or-treated at every single house in this area and we can now proceed. So now we have these grubbins that are standing out here. If I get too close to them, it will start a battle. So you saw how I swung way wide around that one to avoid it. Now this Pumpkin Scarecrow here, remember him. We're going to be seeing him several times throughout the run, and he's very important. But first, we have our very first boss fight of the game. This is Bojan. We're going to fight him 3 times, but this is the only time that he has a megaphone. The megaphone he uses to call minions. We need to get rid of this ASAP. So we're going to focus on this completely until it dies. Yo, it is Rivers. Oh, wow, that white mage attacked. That is really, really fortunate. Good. Okay, block that attack. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to heal the megaphone? That's not a problem at all. If the white mage heals it twice, then things can get a little messy. But with it only getting healed once, that is not a problem at all. The fire will take it out here. And now he can't use it anymore, which is great. What are you going to do? You're going to heal yourself? That's fine. Because we're going to take you out here. Rocket punch to the face. And see, it's got 2 HP left, so I don't need to target it. The Pumpkin Guts ability will take it out. And so I use a phrase very often when I'm playing where I refer to an enemy being in what I call guts range, meaning that it has little enough HP that the guts will take it out as opposed to a direct hit, and so I can focus on something else to maximize the total amount of damage that I'm doing. This should be the last hit of the fight. Boom. Bojan is done, and alright, we are done with the suburbs. On to the next section here, which is so we defeat Bojan, and he escapes in his van. These kids hitch a ride on the bumper of the van in order to see where they're going, and where they're going is to the local mall. Now, first we go into this kind of what I call dark mall, this dark section here that we need to get through before we can get to the big part. But you see the entrance to the mall here. This guy's going to say, oh, hey, look at what they're doing. Let me give you the pattern for a Space Warrior costume, which is going to be really important coming up here. Now, this is really going to be the introduction of these enemies that are walking around as opposed to ones that we're going to see in the actual trick-or-treat doors. And if you approach an enemy from behind and swing your bucket at them, then you get what I like to call initiative, which means that they start the battle. All enemies start the battle suffering just like free chip damage. It's always handy, but in some places it's almost critical because there's going to be a fight coming up later here in Dark Mall that can be very, very dangerous. And having that chip damage to start out is rather important because we don't want to fail that fight. The nice thing about this game, though, is that if you do die in a fight, or even if you run away, which is completely free, even from boss fights, you basically just get dumped out right where you started the fight. So the punishment for it is actually pretty small, but we don't want to suffer it anyway because, you know, stay underestimate, right? Now, I'm going to intentionally take a lot of these free-floating fights. Shoot, okay, I tried to swing up and around him so that I could get the initiative, but I didn't. I unfortunately got too close and he caught me. So no initiative here. That's fine. But the reason why we're going to take a lot of these free-floating fights is that we want to build experience. We are going to go into the final fights of this game somewhat under-leveled, and we want to get to at least a point where finishing the fights is actually viable, because they are rather difficult. Here we go. there. Defend there. And time for rockets. So the way that building supers works is that if you have a super built and you don't use it, you don't like keep building it. After you use it, you have to wait 3 turns before it will be available again. The super that the knight has. Oh, I'm also encountering a problem here where Ren could die if she gets hit again, and she doesn't. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Anyway, the knight's special is a shielding attack, which unfortunately doesn't do any damage, but is going to be critical for a boss fight at the end of this section, actually. So it does have some use, but that's pretty much it. Sometimes I will use it if a fight gets really sideways, and you know, like 1 or even 2 characters die. But other than that, it's really just used for this one boss that I'm talking about here. Let's see, which way are you facing? Ah, okay. Get the initiative here. Slap him in the butt. And everybody starts out with the damage, which is good. Oh, let's go back to kind of just some of the lore at the beginning of the game. So our brother got stolen. But as we were trying to escape from everything that was going on, there's a cutscene where there is a black cat that is in the middle of the street that a car that's driving by has to swerve to avoid, and the car crashes, which allows you to get that ramp that appears to escape from Travis the bully. That black cat is also rather important, and I will whoops, I didn't do a bit there. And I will refer back to that later on. Okay, I don't need a crit here, so I'm intentionally going to fail it, and he dies anyway. Perfect. Okay, this is a level up. Boom. All right, now we talk to this guy here, and he gives us the final piece for the Space Warrior costume. Now we're going to use the Space... Now, the Space Warrior's special ability out of battle is it has this glowing sword that allows us to walk through scary, dark places. So otherwise... Everett says, no, this is too scary, I'm not going through. But with the sword, he's cool with it. Alright. We're going to avoid these enemies here are called Trobogs. We don't need to fight these Trobogs. But we do need to fight this one coming up here. But I've got to use the sword to cut through the darkness. Can't get initiative here because of the way that enemy is placed, but that's okay. So this is the Space Warrior. Their crit style, and you know, all the different costumes have different crit styles. This one is the same as the robots, where you got to try to get it in the in that little section as the meter moves along. Right there. Now, the Space Warrior can cast Meteor. I think it's called Meteor Strike, and it does a bunch of damage, which is great. It's going to be very useful as we progress throughout the game. Not quite enough damage there. Oops. And Ren died. Okay. Oops. Sorry, Ren. Got you wrecked because I didn't block that. Alright, let's see here. Oh, good. You're standing there. Please turn around. Perfect. Slap. Okay. So again, the medic is the Trobog version of the White Mage. We need to kill it. I mean, that is our singular focus right now, is killing White Mages, because they can prolong battles and just make them a lot trickier. Especially this next one that we're going to do. Okay. Our medic should die this round. So like I mentioned before, we will we're doing some of these optional fights in order to level up. By the time we get to the final boss, we will be at level 8. The maximum level that you can get to in this game is level 10. But grinding to do that would take way more time than it would be to actually be worth it as far as the speedrun goes. So we do it at level 8 and hope that it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, 2 HP, awesome. Well, here's the thing. That enemy is certainly in Guts range. Oh, but... oh, man. Okay, well... Okay. Everett's got to do this alone. Which he's capable of. Don't need a crit there. Okay, now this next battle, I absolutely want initiative here, and I'm gonna get it, thank goodness. Okay, because this is the white mage and 2 black mages. The black mages can use essentially like an attack boost buff, and if they do that in a certain way, it is very easy to die in this fight. So let's hope that that's not the case. Let's see what they do here. Okay, they're going to attack, that's good. White mage is gonna heal. What's this black mage going to do? Okay, this is the attack buff. Who are you buffing? Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, this could be a problem. I really don't want that buffed mage to target Ren. Okay. That shouldn't matter. Good. Okay. Phew. Because you see how much damage that did. With how much damage Ren had already taken, she would have died for sure. So, we don't want that. Alright, we can attack here. And hopefully take it out this round between the attack, the guts, the fire does... oh, okay. But that's okay. It can only target one character. So, Ren had no chance there. She was going to die. But this attack will finish the fight. Thank you. Okay. Good. Alright, so with that, that is the last real thing that we have to worry about here in Dark Maul. We're into the mall itself. Okay. So the very first thing we're going to do here is we are going to head into the arcade, where these kids have been taken prisoner and are trying to... the Bojan and their minions here are trying to get them to source more candy. But we're going to go ahead and put a stop to that. Despite the fact that Bojan is this big boss, he actually does, like, as much or sometimes less damage than that little henchman that he's got with him, which is funny. Oh, whoops. I missed the crit. That shouldn't be a problem. I should still be able to kill that henchman here in this cycle. Oh, but Ren's taking a lot of damage. I don't like that. Okay, super on Bojan. There we go. Oh, yeah, we'll be fine here. We should be fine. Hit him with a big meteor. Bam. Please kill the minion. Yes. Okay, good. Oh, and you didn't attack Ren. Thank you, Bojan. Okay. Don't need a crit here. Intentionally fail that. Good. Alright. That's Bojan 2 down. Bojan 3 comes up in very short order, actually. I'll be fighting him again in about like a minute. But first, we got to come in here. I got to skate down into this area, and we got to pick up. This is sparkly fabric. This is for the unicorn costume, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But before we get to the unicorn costume, this is Lucy. She's our third party member, and we are going to give. Let's see here. We're going to give her the pumpkin guts, and we're going to put this. We put what's called the Fang of the Wolf on Everett, which is just a real basic attack boost. Alright, so here's Bojan 3. Again, we take out the minions first, because you need to kill everyone in order to end the fight, so you might as well take care of the ones that are easiest to kill first. So, the party members that we've recruited are really cute characters. Everett is kind of like the do-gooder kind of aw shucks kind of guy, and Lucy is very, very, like, literal and technical and analytical, but she also has a really good heart, so we like all of these characters. They're great. Alright. Super time. We can wail on Bojan, and the splash damage from everything that we do here. Oh, it just took out that henchman straight away. It was good. We we should be able to end this here. That fire will definitely take him out. And boom. Alright, so that's it for Bojan, which is good. Alright, we're going to jump in this cable car here. Alright, now this engineer gives us a piece of the... he gives us a piece of the ninja costume. And we'll talk a little bit more about the ninja costume coming up here. But first we gotta scoot around in this car. One more time. Alright, now we can start trick-or-treating. We start trick-or-treating at the stores here. That's what we do in the mall. They're having like a Halloween festival, so you trick-or-treat at the actual places of business. The nice thing about having a third character is not only do you have a third source of damage, but it's also the it allows the this enemy is definitely in guts range, so we switch our target here. The attacks get spread out more, so they don't get concentrated on just two characters, which is really useful. Yo, Wells, how you doing, buddy? Alright. I don't think I even need a crit here. Okay, well, good thing he was on fire. Okay, so now that we're done here, we get a level up, and then we talk to these ninjas here. And they said, if you want to prove yourself worthy of ninjas, then you need to collect monsters' horns. So there's going to be 3 monsters walking around that will have, like, these orange and purple horns attached to their head, and there he is. We'll go ahead and take initiative here. And we need to kill them to take their horns as, you know, what would you call it? Just like trophies from our battles. 15 is really close to guts range, but I don't think it's it. Okay, it wasn't, because they did 13 to them, so I'm glad I didn't attack somebody else. The name of the game for speed in battles is you want to really concentrate on single enemies as much as possible, because the sooner they die, that's the less battle animations from them that you have to deal with. And that was not the right button, but it didn't matter. So while it would technically be more efficient as far as the number of turns or whatever, to maybe, you know, be more strategic with your attacks, we just want to get rid of enemies as quick as possible so that we don't have to deal with watching their attacks. Okay. I'm gonna come. Ah, shoot. I should have just got that guy while he was not facing me. Darn it. Okay. So again, medic is the white mage. We destroy the white mage as quickly as possible. If I can, I don't think I'm going to do enough damage here. 1 HP left. Awesome. So we have to sit through that healing animation. Now, if the medic isn't critical on HP, then it will use that shield ability that I was bemoaning. So, at least we avoid that, because that is a real pain to deal with. Ooh, Everett almost died there. That was close. Alright, Guts will take this out. There we go. Alright, so we got 2 more horns to collect. Oh, shoot, he's facing me. Darn it. I didn't get the initiative there. Oh well. Again, not a big deal. Or at least it shouldn't be. Now, obviously you can't get initiative on... There's no opportunity to do it on the battles that are in trick-or-treats, but... You saw before, obviously I couldn't get initiative there, and that medic had 1 HP left. Now, had we gotten initiative, obviously that medic would have died. But, that's okay. See, this enemy has 300 HP. That is a lot for where we're at in this part of the game. You see those little golden the golden emblems next to all the HP bars that has the numbers in. That's the levels that each character or whatever is at. We're all at level 5, and this at least that Trobog Bruiser is at level 7. So you can see we're at a 2-level disadvantage. So not quite. Oh, please fire, take him out. Yes and yes. Okay, good. All right. So that's our second horn. Third one, where is he? Up. Okay. He should be over here then. Where is he? There he is. Okay. So we'll take out this third guy here. Okay, that's definitely Guts range, so we can focus on the Black Mage now. Because we don't want to see any attack buffs. Okay, gotta wait for the fire damage to resolve. Now, unfortunately, the fire damage that gets applied from the robot special only lasts for that one round where it's applied, whereas fire damage that you take from enemies never goes away. It, like, endures for the rest of the battle. That's not fair. I don't think it's fair. Alright, don't need a crit here. We can just mash X. Oh, but we got a crit anyway. It just happened to be X that we needed to hit. Again, which button that you need to press for... Whoops. For your crits, your blocks, and whatnot, it is completely random. There is no pattern to it. So I can't really... So I can't anticipate... I can't anticipate what button I need to press at all, unfortunately. Alright, so we're done trick-or-treating there. We're going to take this car on over. The ninjas now deem us worthy, and so they give us the pattern for the costume. We already had all the parts. So now we have the ninja costume. We will use it in one very specific section of the game, and that is it. Every single costume that we collect we will use it... shoot, no initiative here. We will use it at least once. Not necessarily in battle, but like I said, every costume has some sort of ability that you can use outside of battle that is useful. And we just use the outside ability for the ninja costume in one specific place, and that's it. Okay. This should kill, and if it doesn't, it gets it into Guts range at worst. Yep, good. No problem. Switch to the other enemy. But that's okay. We're killing it this round anyway. Because as the levels go up, the amount of damage that you do from your supers, especially from the Space Warrior, gets real big, and you just do silly amounts of damage in the later stages of the game. Even though we could be leveled even higher, the levels that we already are at, we can still do a bunch of damage. So that's good. Okay, we've got 2 black mages here, which this fight is a little scary. At least we don't have a healer here, which is good. There is going to be another one of those fights with 2 black mages and a white mage coming up shortly. The attack buff on him is not what I wanted to see, because I'm taking him out last. Oh, okay, that's fine. It was still enough damage. So we take out... Oh, thank you for not hitting one of the ones that had already suffered damage. Are you going to die? Oh, no, that stinks. Well, there goes my strongest super. See, this is the danger of if attack buffs, if you get bad RNG with the attack buffs. And now with this guy being attack buffed, he could easily take out Ren in the next hit. So, okay. That's okay. He's only got 9 HP, so he is going to take out Ren. But Lucy will come through for us, and Lucy just needs to just do a hit. There we go. Okay. Are we going to get initiative here? No. Darn it. Okay. Oh, boy. All right. Let's hope for favorable RNG here. Okay, good. No attack buffs. This is going to be a heal, which we completely expect. Attack buff the white mage. Yes! Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Because that white mage is going to die. We can switch targets there because a regular attack from Lucy is the, or from the knight, I should say, is the weakest. So we don't need to waste a stronger attack on that enemy with the HP where it was at. Alright. Rockets. Meteors. And a regular attack with guts, and we're done. Okay, good. I definitely got good RNG on that fight, so that is a relief. Get some candy here, and then we can head back downstairs. Back into the rail car again. And then back upstairs, only this time we go down. And where is the Trobog going to be? Oh, map. God, another one where I don't get initiative. So, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'll mention it now. This game is really cute. It's really charming. And there's a lot of funny stuff in the cutscenes and the dialogue and whatnot. But for the sake of the speedrun, we skip virtually all of it. So, if you're enjoying this game and you think it's cool, I highly recommend a casual playthrough of this because of how funny and quirky it is. But also, the speedrun is... Or, I'm sorry. Well, the speedrun, yes, also. But the game itself is actually rather short. So, not a huge time commitment for going through this game. But it's really good. It's really good. Okay, time for supers. Yo, thank you, Shentok. Yeah, this is another thing about the speedrun of this game is that, now this is something that I did mention before. It pretty consistently requires your concentration and your focus. Oops, I didn't need a crit there. I should have waited. So, when I'm playing this game, even as I'm doing it now for a marathon, but even when I'm doing it on my channel, it's kind of difficult to keep up with chat. So, just know that I see all of you there in chat, for the most part. And I am not ignoring you intentionally. Normally I like to play with chat and have fun with them, but this run is fairly demanding as far as that goes. So, that's kind of an explanation for that. Whoops. Just gotta go through this round here. Now it's time for supers. That should kill the other guy easily. Hit you in the face with a rock. Thanks, Drake. Appreciate you. And there we go. We're dead. We're done. Alright, now. We're going to come up here, we're going to break this barrier, and we're going to fall down, and you fall into the top of this pumpkin. Now, I have to be very careful. You land on the treasure chest, but you need to step off of it and then touch it. If you fall down too far, you fall out of the pumpkin there. You cannot just walk right back into it, so you have to go all the way around. It's a big waste of time. We're going to pay another visit to Sadie here. She's going to sell us some more stamps. And the only one we're going to equip right now is, we had the Fang of the Wolf before. Now we have the Jawbone of the Wolf. It's basically just a stronger version of the Fang. And we just toss that onto... We toss that onto Everett to give him a little more attack boost. Here's the Pumpkin Scarecrow again. Every time we see him, he gives us the part to a pumpkin costume. Now we're going to talk to this guy. He is an announcer for a costume contest that we want to win, and we will do that shortly. But first, we have 2 more trick-or-treats to do. There's one down. Here's this one here. This is just one more battle. Fortunately, this one is only 2 enemies I have to deal with, as opposed to 3, which I've had to deal with for pretty much everything else in this section. So, we're getting pretty close to being done with them all. Switch our targets here, because 33 damage is easily something Lucy can take care of. With a direct hit, that is, not with the pumpkin guys. There we go. I don't even need to use my super here. It's shorter to just do a regular crit attack. Probably saves about a second or 2. There we go. Okay. Alright, so that was the last trick-or-treat. That gate now opens. Alright. So what we need to do is we need to talk to these folks here in the orange sweaters. Also, don't mind this pinata that's going to come right on your screen here. Not too creepy or anything. Yeah. We need to talk to these folks in the orange sweaters. These are the judges for the costume contest, and they're going to tell us what they want to see. Now, we've got 2 of the 3 costumes that they want to see here, but we're going to switch Everett into the Liberty costume. And then let the competition begin. Oh my god, A+, y'all are fantastic. And our reward for this is the pattern for the unicorn costume. We already had all the parts. But now we've got that. The unicorn is going to be used for the final battles of the game. But it's something we definitely want to collect while we're here. But now, it's time to fight the boss of this section. We're going to be fighting a boss called Mextel, but first we have to deal with his henchmen. And we're going to just work on this guy real quick. This takes almost 2 rounds to get done with this section. Now, the way that you crit with Liberty is you have to roll the left stick in circles as fast as possible. That's another unique way of doing the crits here. Uses his torch to do damage. Alright, so these henchmen go away, and now we fight Mextel himself. Alright, now you're going to see... Okay, so Everett says, oh, he's staring at me. What's going on here? That means that he's going to target that... He's going to target that character with a really strong attack, but we can mitigate this by using the Knight Special. And the Knight Special is to shield an ally for either a couple rounds or until they get targeted with an attack. Which we got a free round there, which Mextel will sometimes do because he just does, I guess. Okay, let's see what he does here. And boom. Alright. If I wasn't shielded there, that would have done about triple the damage, so really important to have that in place. Okay. Alright. Once Mextel gets to 0 HP, he goes into his second phase. Which he should at the end of this round. I think we're going to do enough damage. Oh yeah, with the fire, we're definitely going to do enough damage. So there goes his... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's what I was expecting. So there goes his, bulldozer. Okay. Let's see, is he gonna do a focus here? Okay, alright. Now it's time to use the Liberty Special, which is healing. But it's not just regular healing. Because the statue ability, we use the healing powers of America! Okay, so now Lucy is going to be... Oh, shoot, I could have done the super there. That's okay. Alright, so Lucy is going to be the next target of Mextal's special attack, so we will protect her. Okay. Yeah, now unfortunately, Mextal's super attack in his second phase deals damage to everyone. So, but we're very close to finishing this fight, so we're actually in really good shape. Even if Lucy dies here, we only need to do, like, I think, maybe one more. Oh, yeah, we only need to do one more hit. So we're good. Okay. So Mextal dies. Now, what happens here is all the kids get kidnapped and get imprisoned in this bramble maze here, and all their costumes get stolen, too. So you're going to see here, they're in their street clothes. This treasure chest that you see there with the those two floating enemies there, which are called crest whalers, they are guarding all of those costumes. The kid that we just talked to there is what's called a hidden kid. In each section, there's kind of like a mini game where if you talk to all of the, if you find and talk to all of the hidden kids, you get an upgrade to your candy bucket, which upgrades all of the damage output of all of your characters. Unfortunately, the effects of the buckets don't stack, so we only collect the last one because it's the strongest. So this guy is a fry vendor. He has moved from the big city and has big dreams of selling French fries and getting rich, but unfortunately, he has no customers. So he gives us this French fry costume, and its ability out of battle, and I'm using it right now, is to drop this extremely alluring scent of French fries, which we will use to attract some customers for him. But we can also use it to do this, which is come over here, get next to these crest whalers, and tempt them with the smell of food and trap them in the barn. So we got to do it to the first one. Now we do it to the second one. We trap him in the barn, and with nobody guarding the treasure chest, it conveniently slides off, and we get all our stuff back. Okay, now we can equip that on you, we can equip that on you, we can equip that on you, and we go. And we have our rocket skates back. Hooray! Alright, we're going to swing over to the right here real quick to find another hidden kid. And now it is Trick-or-Treat Palooza. I think the next thing we do is 10 trick-or-treats in a row. It's a lot. So, oh, hello, come on. Oops. Okay, you see that NPC there, the pink princess? Remember her. She is by far my favorite NPC of the game, and I will demonstrate why in just a few minutes. So now we fight these crest whaler enemies. These are typically pretty high-level enemies that have a bunch of HP. But fortunately, by the time we get our next level up, our supers are going to do just stupid amounts of damage. So we can deal with them pretty easily. Is 17 guts range? Let's find out. Nope. 16 damage is what I did. Perfect. We gotta deal with another attack. Oh well. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, I don't need to use a super here. This is faster. In fact, I probably didn't even get the crit, honestly. This is also a battle. Yeah, again, you see these enemies with 300 HP. It just takes a while to get through them. Now, like I said, the maximum level you can get to in this game is 10. In order to get there, you need to fight virtually every battle. I think there's only like maybe 2 battles that you can spare that will still allow you to get to that level. So you have to do a lot of fighting. We skip a bunch of the optional battles later on here. So, because we don't need to do them. But as a result, it makes the final two bosses of this game pretty tricky. You did it casually, it's a lot of... Yeah, it is a lot of battles. I did it as well. I got to level 10 when I did my casual playthrough of this. And yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. Alright. One more hit here. This obviously does not need to be a crit with him only having 14 left. So, there we go. Alright, I believe the next battle here... Not that here. It's this one here. I believe this gives me my next level up. Okay, that Monk is the white mage. The Mystic is the black mage. So, as we know, we've been discussing it all run long. See white mage, kill white mage. Sorry, Devin. I don't think I'm in Guts range. I was! Damn it! I got it wrong both times. Oh well, that's okay. You know, the fact that he attack buffed himself is actually perfect because he's dying this round. So, in fact, he's probably in Guts range after this attack. And he is. Okay. We know it's 17. We have confirmed that. Alright, so 2 supers should be enough to take this guy out. Oh, nope, it's the next battle that gives us the level up, which is not here. Don't mind the blazing effigy in the middle of the town. It's no big deal. It's just kind of what they do here. Alright. One more hit, and no more white mage to deal with. Thank goodness. Yo, Rybon, thank you for the raid. Everyone coming over from Rybon's stream, welcome to Questing for Glory 5. We are deep into a run of a game called Costume Quest for the Xbox 360. We're about, well, probably about 2/3 of the way through this run now, I would say. And it's going to start to get pretty good here, especially with the story, too. There's some funny stuff coming up here. So you're just in time. This is a level up. There it is. Okay. One more trick-or-treat to do here, and then we get to have some fun. Alright, so we're going to switch to the French fry costume, and we're going to start alluring our first customer. But before we do, real quick pit stop with Sadie. We just got to buy one stamp, but we don't equip it. We need it for the final battle. So we use the scent, and he is... he has no choice but to follow. We're going to lead him over to the fry vendor, and now he's got his first customer. So that's good. Now we're going to go to the princess. We love the princess because she loves French fries. In fact, she makes quite the proclamation when she gets here. When she says, "I'm gonna eat French fries till I puke!" My favorite line in the whole game by far. Okay, now the last one here is this devil girl. Oops, hello. French fry costume? Thank you. Okay, we're going to bring her on out. And she's enthusiastic about French fries, but it's more subtle. She's like, "Oh, Brad, French fries." Alright, so he's very happy that we've gotten enough customers, so he gives us tickets to the carnival, which allows us to gain access to the next section of the game. But before we go there, we've got a hidden kid to grab. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to go in, talk to this guy, and the door's going to open. Okay, now, this cutscene here with the fortune teller. That fortune teller's name is Dorian. Dorian is an especially important character. He is the brother of the evil sorceress Dorsilla. Dorian hates Dorsilla. Dorian thinks that she's evil, and she's awful, and all of that. But he's also completely terrified of his sister and does not have the guts to confront her directly. So what he does instead is he's actually been helping us all along. by disguising himself as different things. The pumpkin scarecrow that we've encountered twice and will encounter one more time, that's Dorian. The black cat that I was talking about in the cutscene at the beginning that causes the car accident, that cat was also Dorian. So we're going to see his influence coming up later here as well. We love Dorian. He's a very sweet boy. Alright. Falling rocks. Alright, should just be a couple more hits here, and this guy's done. Don't need a crit there. Pop up here, we're going to get another costume part. So what we're assembling here is parts for the vampire costume, which is the third costume that we need for the final battles. I'm sorry, no. Yeah, it's the third costume. Alright, a couple trick-or-treats there. There's a hidden kid right here. That means we got 2 more to go. Come on. Alright. Now it's 3 trick-or-treat battles in a row. The shaman is the white mage. So you have gots to go. We do not want to deal with your nonsense. Okay, that's gotta be guts range, right? Don't hose me there, please. Thank you. Oh, shoot. That's right. There's a mystic here. Alright. No, we're taking on next. 3 hits should be able to do it, though. At the levels we're at here. Oh, yeah, we're fine. And, oh, he's actually guts range. That's beautiful. Good. Are we... Locrian? Yes. They also have a stepsister named Mixolydian. Ah, yes. Shoutouts to all my music theory nerds out there. Combat is quite the musician in his own right. So, the fact that you would know that stuff is not a surprise at all. How many costumes does this game have? 11. We're going to collect all but one of them. And every single costume that we will collect, we use at least once in some way, shape, or form. I don't think I need a crit. I don't. Good. Alright. One more trick-or-treat here. Alright. So I actually take an opportunity during this fight to explain what's coming up next. There is a Ferris wheel that we actually saw there at the top part of this section here. And there are some kids that are being held captive up there by some monsters, and we need to rescue them. Unfortunately, the Ferris wheel is broken, so we can't just, like, rotate it and get up there. But in the middle of town is a daredevil. His name is Orzo, and he is a human cannonball. So the kids are like, oh, sweet, we could just use this cannon to blast ourselves up there and confront these monsters and rescue the kids. Oh, 1 HP, awesome. But Orzo says, oh, no, no, no. This is way too dangerous for children. You can't use this. And we have our ways of using it anyway, which I will demonstrate shortly. 190 damage from that meteor, by the way. That's a lot. So we're going to come up to... Oh, oops, no. Hello. We're going to come up to Orzo. We're going to switch to the ninja costume for the one and only time. Use the ability to sneak around. Oh, no! Oh, shoot. I didn't get to switch back to the robot. Well, now you get to see the ninja in battle. Ninja has the same crit style as the robot and the Space Warrior. But unfortunately, their super is not really useful as far as doing damage. In fact, it doesn't do damage at all. So that's why we don't use the ninja. Their attack looks pretty cool, though. Yeah, I just got a little too hasty getting up to that cannon and triggering this cutscene. Oh, well. Oh, actually, that's fine. Because between this and Guts, we should do enough damage to kill it. No, we won't. Ah, shoot. Okay, whatever, that's fine, that's fine. You want to see the ninja super? Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. So it's called Kitsune Shroud. It basically makes one character invulnerable for a couple of turns. So, like, right now the ninja can't... I don't think the ninja can even be targeted. But if it can, it can't be hit. Jeez, I screwed up. Okay, I certainly don't know the special there. Okay. Okay, yeah, there go the those monsters in defeat. We only have 2 more trick-or-treats to do here. This is a battle, the next one is Candy, and then we're done with trick-or-treating for the rest of the game. Oh, I didn't. Oh no, I didn't do the crit. Dang it. Alright, well, we get an extra attack here. Not that that's dangerous or anything, it just wastes a few seconds. Here we go. Now we have our rockets back. Rockets are good. Rockets are great. So are meteors. Hiya! Rock to the face! And he's dead. Alright. One more trick-or-treat to do here. When I'm done with this, you're going to see this cutscene trigger to open those gates there. We need to use the spaceman here to cut through this darkness. And we're going to come up here. We're going to capture our penultimate hidden kid. Or discover the hidden kid, I should say. Got to use the spaceman to get through that darkness there. We've got our second part of the vampire costume. Now, I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to intentionally take this very avoidable battle. And the reason why we're doing this is because it's only 2 enemies that I need to kill, but it's going to allow me to get just enough experience that the battle before the final boss rush will get me to level 8. So the fact that I only have to deal with 2 enemies here makes that a lot easier. Okay, that's definitely Guts range, so we can switch our target. Good, good, good. Right. Rockets and rocks. Am I the world record holder for this game? I am not. I have the 2nd place time. Alright, here's Dorian the Pumpkin Scarecrow. He's going to give us the final piece to the pumpkin costume. He's also going to give us this speaker here. And he's like, oh, it'll be useful later, trust me. Also, this kid standing here in the banana costume, that's the final hidden kid. The one just standing out in plain view. So, yeah. Oops. So now we have the Bat Bucket, which gives everybody an additional 10 attack power. We also have the final piece to the vampire costume now, which again is something that we will use on the final battle. So now we go into here, and this is the maze section. But first, we talked to this grubbin here who was like, yo, we were working for Drusilla, but she's really awful, and we don't like her anymore. So if you want to infiltrate her... Ah, shoot. Okay. So I didn't mean to get into this battle here. He just kind of got in my way. So we're going to run away. Running away is guaranteed. All you do is just squeeze the L and R triggers, and you just get out. That probably wasted about, like, what, 10-ish seconds? Oh, we're going to race another 10 seconds. Okay, cool. I'm not getting very good RNG here with these crest whalers and replacements. So, it happens. Ah, get out of my way. I don't want to encounter him again. Alright. So what that first grubbin that we talked to did gave us the pattern for a grubbin costume. And now we're going to rescue these 3 grubbins from this maze here. And they are each going to give me a part of the grubbin costume that I can use to turn... Whoops, wrong way. That I can turn myself into a grubbin, which is going to be really useful for getting out of this maze. Okay. And then the third one here, we go like this, and around, and down this way. We can slide by these pumpkins here. We don't need to break them. Here we go. And, alright, let's see if I get the dialogue skip here. If you just kind of mash as... Yeah, okay. So there's actually like 3 or 4 text boxes that are supposed to come up there when that screen fades in from black. But we skip them by mashing during the fade in. We have to wait until we get to there to switch to the robot costume. If you switch to it too soon, that crest whale will see you and will start a battle. Now, this is one of the rare cutscenes where we cannot speed it up. We got to stand here, we're stuck, and you see, slowly coming in from the left-hand side of the screen, it's Mextel again, who's going to creep in very, very, very slowly in his bulldozer. He's like, just give me a second, and we're like, you want us to come over there? So we can kind of like get this going, but to no avail. There's no buttons I can press here that speed this up at all. He's like, no, stay there and wait. Oh, wait a second, wait for it, wait for it. Doom! Ha ha ha! Now, this Mextel fight is incredibly easy compared to the first one. We're going to kill him in 3 rounds. He doesn't have a second phase. We're way, way stronger. And this is going to go very fast. He doesn't have any real, like, special attacks or anything like that. It's just... This fight is incredibly straightforward, and it will be done soon. Alright, hit him with the meteor. And... dead. Good. Alright, now, by killing Mextel, boom, we get to level 8. Alright, now, so, coming up here, I want to make sure I do this right the first time, because if I don't, it's very frustrating. We want to get first try ramps. Let's see if we get it. A? A, good. Alright, now we got to get set up for this battle here. We're going to switch Ren to the pumpkin costume. We're going to switch Everett to the unicorn costume, and we're going to switch Lucy to the vampire costume, and we're just going to equip one stamp here. We're going to put this rotten egg on Lucy, and I'll explain what the rotten egg does when the time comes. But this is Drusilla. Now, Drusilla can give us some really bad RNG, so let's hope she doesn't. This is the pumpkin. Pumpkin uses the L stick roll to do the crits, just like the Liberty costume. The unicorn does the button just like the knight. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, so she has trapped Lucy in this thorny cage. We need to hit this thing twice. Oh, no, did I target Drusilla? Oh, no. I did not mean to do that. Okay, that's not good. So, unfortunately, okay. Now, this is actually something we want to see, is her charging up this attack. So now that we have Lucy back, she can do an attack. Now in this round, she's just going to continue to charge it up. We're going to use, this is All Hallows Eve. This is the super for the pumpkin, and it does a boatload of damage. That did about 400 damage. Okay, now, if I were to let Dorsilla use this attack, I would take a bunch of damage, but we're going to use the Rotten Egg. What that does is stuns enemies, but in this case, it just interrupts her train of thought. Now she has copied her. This is the last thing we wanted to see. Because first of all, we need to discover which one is the real Dorsilla. Okay, that one took way too much damage. That's not the real one. That's the real one. We ignore the other two as far as attacking them. Because if we kill both of them, then she can respawn them again, and that's just a big waste of time. Okay. So we are going to use, the vampire super here coming up, which is called There's a Bat in My Hair. What this does is it does damage to all enemies and heals your party. And the latter part of that is definitely the more important one. So, would love to see her charge up another super attack again, because that's just free rounds where she's not wailing away at us with damage. But, alas. You have to block these attacks. If you miss blocks, this can go sideways very quickly. But she's spreading the damage around, which is perfect. So, despite the fact that she went to her clones early, we're actually getting some decent attack RNG from her, at least. I'll be able to heal next round, which is good. Don't hit Ren again, please. Oh boy, Lucy's getting low, but we gotta do a heal here for sure. Now the unicorn special ability is called My Pretty Panacea, which is a revive and full heal. You can actually use it on a character that's alive if you want to give them a full heal. They don't have to be dead, but if they are, then they'll come back with a full heal as well. Do I have the super here? No, I don't. But I think I have it next round. 3/4 of the way done with Dorsilla here. We're in pretty good shape. Oh, good. Charging up, that's good. Okay. Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm actually going to use My Pretty Panacea on Lucy now. You see, Unicorn uses Rainbow Beam of Healing! Now, the reason why I wanted to do that is because if Lucy would have died this round, it would have been problematic for using the stun on Dorsilla, which I need to do this round. Okay, almost done here. But like I said, her special, if you allow it to happen, does a boatload of damage that we just cannot afford to take. But we only... Oh, there we go. She's done. All right. So we're done with Dorsilla, but now... Oh, we don't need to switch costumes. We need to switch our stamps here. That's right. That looks good. Okay. So Dorsilla has been shamed. But now we fight Big Bones. This is the final boss of the game. Time will be when the cutscene after this fades to black. Now, how we've gotten to this point is Dorsilla, who was, trying to collect all of this candy, was actually doing it at the behest of Big Bones. But her master plan all along was to collect all of this stuff and then overthrow Big Bones. Now, what we skipped was that speaker that Pumpkin Scarecrow Dorian gave us of a recording of her telling this plan. And Big Bones hears it and says, that's not cool, banishes Dorsilla, and now we fight him instead, because he's the real mastermind of all of this. Now, Big Bones will go to a second phase as soon as he drops below 1200 HP, and that second phase is incredibly dangerous. So it is there's a decent chance that I die in this fight. But fortunately, if I do, I don't have to fight Dorsilla again. Oof. That was just an unblockable attack there from him. I don't really need to worry about about healing Lucy right now because I don't need her super, and if she dies, we'll just use my pretty panacea, and we're good. So the stamps that I've equipped on all of the characters here is, you know what? I'm actually just going to use it proactively so I can get it back sooner. I could have probably just done a heal with Lucy and we would have been fine, but that's okay. We're good. So the stamps that I've equipped now, the ones that I've equipped on Ren and Everett give them like a passive regen, essentially, which is good. We have to be very defensive in this battle because Big Bones does a bunch of damage, especially in his second phase. So we got to keep that HP up as best we can, which is why we have two characters here that have healing specials. But even that is not enough sometimes. Okay, good. He did not target Everett. That could have been scary. Okay, how much HP does he have here? Okay, yeah, let's do a heal now. So that way we will have it back in time for his second phase. Okay, so that attack that he does has much like the robot super that we have. It has a primary target that takes the most damage, but it also hits all other targets for less damage. Having it target Ren, despite the fact that she's our main damage dealer, is actually fine because her regen is the stronger version. Okay. So we're gonna get to his second phase here at the end of this phase, which is not really what we wanted to see, but here we are. Okay, so he's gonna say, "I don't feel so good," and now he's just gonna do a ton of damage. So yeah, this is where things get real. Fortunately, we had an All Hallows Eve on deck. Boom. Do a swing here with the unicorn. And I believe I have a heal now? I do. Okay, thank goodness. Alright, we're in good shape here. Okay. If Lucy dies, which she doesn't... okay. Ooh, this is real tough. I'm just gonna have to hope that Big Bones doesn't hose me here. Let's see what happens. Is he going to do his unblockable? He is. Oh my gosh, she survived. Thank goodness. We're going to do Panacea on... Let's do it on Lucy. Okay. What are you doing here? Okay, Everett goes, but that's okay. We only need to do 2 more hits, and we should be good. Get ready on time. Oh, and, whoops. And that is time right there. And now here we have our ending. So, so Dorian comes in and rescues the kids. We take all the candy that they stole from everyone, and we roll through the neighborhood that we came from. Oh, well, actually, this is the area where we got whisked to. And Dorian drives around in his... That's a van. We'll call it a van. And the kids redistribute the candy to everyone else. And it's happy times. I want to kind of go through, because unfortunately, because we skipped a bunch of the cutscenes here, let's watch the ending, because there's actually something really cute that happens at the end here. So here we are back in Ren and Reynolds' house, and you see Lucy and Everett with us, and Mom called Lucy and Everett's parents and said, "It's cool if you stay over." So hooray, Mom got exactly what she wanted from this. Her kids made some friends, and this is all very happy. So what they're doing here is they're taking all of their candy and they're trading it back and forth and distributing it. But first, Dad has to come in, steal some for himself, because Dad tax, of course. This is absolutely something I would do with my kids, okay? Now, so parents are happy, kids are happy, they've saved the day, everything is good. They're going to have a little conversation here. and at the end of, or as we get closer to the end of this, there's something really cool that you see that happens. And where is it? It's going to be coming up in just a second here. The dad tax is very, very real. Absolutely. No tax. Okay, you see in the gutter there's that little black cat that's just kind of walking around? That's Dorian. So Dorian is still watching over these kids that he has helped, and that helped him by stopping his sister's evil plan, so he sticks around and helps them out. Now, there's some really funny dialogue that comes up here at the very end, where Lucy says, "I can't wait forever, babe," and Ever says, "Did you just call me babe?" So they make kind of like a little, crush connection there. And then the credits are actually really funny here because, as you're going to see throughout the credits here, we'll only show it here in the beginning, but it's pictures of the developers of this game with their Halloween costumes when they were a kid, which I think is awesome. So yeah. Anyway, so that's Costume Quest. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's the very first time this has ever been featured in a marathon, so I hope I gave it a good showing. Oh, my time was a 1:20. That's great. That's actually a really good time. So I'm very happy with that. Well, I tell you what, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed having me here. If you enjoyed this, please do give me a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. I've been working on this game as well as a lot of other RPGs and stuff, so hope to see you there. And all of that good stuff. But coming up next, we've got my buddy Ghost Kumo, and he's going to be running an East game as he typically does, so you definitely want to stick around for that. But for me, that is going to do it. Thanks so much for watching me here. I hope to see you all very soon, and until I do, take care, everyone.